Hey everyone, welcome to FO Golf channel. Today I actually have two of my students help me operating the camera, making things a little bit easier. Guys, say hello.
Hello. Hi, this is
Melody. Melody and Hanyang. So thank you. All right, I have many clients ask me. There's one thing about golf swings that a lot of times, we know this infamous movement that most amateurs would do is called the cupping of the wrist. Means when you get to the top, you tend to cup your wrist like this, right? So they asked me, how do you prevent that happen? The truth is, really, the reason why you're doing that is because your dominant right hand is taking over. We all know by now that your left hand, your lead hand or lead arm, and your right arm, they do two different things. So say for example right now, my left hand right now, this is called the ulnar and radial deviation, right? And this is what you do when you get on top of your swing. This is what your left hand is doing, right? The ulnar and radial deviation. And then your right hand actually does this, what I call the extension and flexion, right? Okay. Now, understanding a lot of times if your right hand or your right arm is too strong, a lot of times you will hold your fist like this on top. So you can see right there, this is an aggressive position. And also, what you wanted to do is that you want to have this look right here with your right hand wrist. Looks like this, right? This is the flexion, right? Oh, if I get it right. Anyway, I always get confused between these two movements. I know it's either one or, but anyway, you want to look like a 90 degree right here when you get to the top. Now, the reason why you're cupping the wrist when you get to here is because your right hand is way too strong. And the truth is, the reason why your right hand is way too strong is because most amateurs, really most human beings, when you see a ball on the ground, you are going to react to the ball. So in other words, you're creating a ready position. That ready position is exactly what you do with your dominant hand, which is your right hand, if you're a right-handed player. But unfortunately, when you play golf, your lead hand and your lead arm is left. So in other words, when you get to the top, a lot of times you would preemptively do something that's very strong to have this wrist feels like a fist, because the fist is what gives you sense of power and control, but we cannot have that at all. So a lot of you will always say, hey, what about all the instructions on the internet talking about early cocking of the wrist and maybe do it here or do it here? Really, I would not recommend it at all. Based on FO Golf teaching system, none of those movements is going to help you. Only if you're a tour player. If you're dealing with a standard, I'm talking about standard instructions, really cocking of the wrist is not something you preemptively do it on the backswing. It's a byproduct of a rotational movement, okay? And you just have to know what your hands, the feeling, was the correct feeling of the movement. I mean, a lot of times people talk about, oh, I got a quick tip, some people tell me get to here and do that. It actually would never work well, because you remember your arms are really just radius in a circular motion. From a physics perspective, you as a human being, you cannot control radius. So there's no such thing as early cocking of the wrist. And like I say to you, the cocking of the wrist is based on a byproduct of a motion. You don't purposely do it. You don't purposely do it here. You don't purposely do it here. You don't purposely do it here. And a lot of people I see people do this. Okay? And there's a guy named Ryan Moore. He did that a while back. Now remember, we're not dealing with quick tips. Okay? I'm trying to tell you there is a standard, correct way to handle everything. Earlier I talked about how your left hand, the ulnar and radial deviation, the truth is they're very minimal. Okay? They're not overly, the movement, there's not a lot of degrees that you're dealing with. So, and also the truth is, if your club is controlled by your lead arm, which is your left arm and your left hand, when you get to the top, it's based on your core and hip rotation, and if you drag the arms up and slowly, and when you get to here, the weight of the club is going to fall on it like this, right? And the only reason why you cup it is because there's a lot of extra movement that's coming from your right hand, okay? And that's the reason why really there's if your right arm is too strong, there's no way your left hand is going to control the club. So that's another reason why you will always cup the wrist. All right, so just want to show you really, if you can work on this drill, do a very slow movement. Like I say, you know, turn the hips, turn the core, allow the arms to follow, and really feel the club. When you get to here, it's going to softly drop, and you can see right there my left wrist is flat, and this angle right here, it feels the weight of the club, and I have a 90-degree of the right hand. Now obviously when you're chipping is different story, or when you're in a bunker shot. Okay, we can get into wrist cocking in detail in those shots, but the truth is when you're chipping, you're not dealing with a lot of distance. Your wrist hinge is still going to be very soft, right? Because we're not dealing with long distance. If you guys have any questions, email me or leave a comment. All right, so please click like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.